What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today I'm bringing you guys a lot of information about a new patch that has just hit Call of Duty Ghosts on all platforms, and this is actually a pretty big one. Normally they're pretty small, just a bunch of bug fixes and small tweaks that don't really make a huge difference on the overall game, but this one is probably pretty big in terms of game changing, and it's the last update that's probably going to be for Call of Duty Ghosts. Infinity Ward have finished it. They've pushed out DLC 4. Call of Duty Ghosts is pretty much now over. They're going to go and work on their next game, and this is probably the last update, and they wanted to change a lot of things before they left it. So I'm going to get right into this. If you want to see the full patch notes, I'll put a link to them in the description if you want to read every single detail. I'm going to read all the important stuff. So first off, we've got the Vulture. It now lives for 90 seconds, and I believe before it would live for 6 seconds. In my opinion, the Vulture is one of the worst streaks in the game. It's so underpowered, it's so weak, it takes a long time to lock on, it's got very weak damage, and it's just a very, very weak streak in general. If I was going on a kill streak, I would not recommend to pick it because it's generally very underpowered, but it needs all the help it can get. So now it lasts 9 seconds, which is pretty respectable, and then they've also buffed the Juggernauts. Now this is very important. They've actually increased the assault movement speed by 15% and the support movement speed by 5%. That's pretty cool. The assault was obviously very, very slow, but now 15% increase is quite a lot. And then also they've added the focus perk to both assault and support. In my opinion, that is absolutely huge. That is one of the main downsides to using a Juggernaut. The main thing is when you're trying to aim at someone and you're being hit, because Juggernauts have huge amounts of health, you're constantly being hit, and obviously focus reduces the amount of flinch, and you would be flinching all over the place, almost impossible to aim, and you'd be constantly jolting up and down, and that was a real downside to a Juggernaut. But now you actually have the focus perks, so you're going to be very, very accurate when you're being hit, and that is actually really, really huge to a Juggernaut. So that's definitely makes it a little bit more worthwhile to use, especially this all when you're trying to aim on target and you're being shot and your aim is just going way off because you're being shot by someone else. And then they have buffed another streak which is quite underpowered in my opinion. This is the Loki, obviously the top assault streak in the game, and they basically increased the fire rate of it. The large rods can now be fired every 4 seconds instead of 7, so that's nearly twice the fire rate, and they can get off these rods very, very quick, and that's the large rods, bear in mind. So they can do huge damage every 4 seconds. One of these can come down now, and then it can also fire the rods at 1.5 second delay instead of 2 seconds. When you pull the trigger, it will normally take 2 seconds, now it takes 1.5 seconds, and the small rods now fire at 0.3 seconds as opposed to 0.5 seconds. So all in all, large rods and small rods are going to be coming down way more often, and it makes the Loki a little bit more lethal. They've also done a bunch of esports, little tweaks and kind of additions and stuff like that, pretty minor stuff, and of course anti-cheat stuff to improve the kind of stability of hackers and stuff like that. And then in additional fixes, they've got a fix for S&D, the round not ending when you kill the entire team. Sometimes in Call of Duty, when you kill the team very, very quickly, it would not end, and they've fixed that. They've also fixed an issue which allowed people to see the enemy positions when you're trying to kill cam. That was kind of like a trick if you knew how to do it in Search and Destroy. When you die with your kill cam, you used to be able to press start and you could see where the bomb was down, and sometimes player movement, stuff like that. You can't do that anymore, so that's kind of gone. And they also fixed a persistent new icon, which was very, very useful, because that new icon would constantly be showing up, and me personally, I just don't like having that new icon, and even though you'd like check all of the new items, it would still show up. That was kind of like a major like OCD thing. If you've got OCD, that would kind of annoy you, but it's good to see they've fixed that. So now if you've got something new, if you've kind of checked over it, that new icon will disappear. Then into new features. This is the cool stuff, and I've talked about this briefly in the video. Obviously I was at a DLC event and I was playing an early build of the game, and my comment section was filled with you guys asking me why am I getting orange hit markers, what was going on there. Obviously it wasn't the perk Deadeye. Some people thought it was. That's a completely different perk and it looks completely different, but they were orange hit markers, and what that actually is basically when you get the killing hit on someone, the hit marker will turn orange. So when you kill someone, the killing hit marker will turn orange for you instead of the normal white. The first few will be white and the last one will be orange. So that is why you'll get orange hit markers in where you're playing Call of Duty Ghosts right now. They've also added a few other things. They've added the feature to be able to reset your stats for max prestige players. So when you hit 10th max prestige, you can now reset your stats if you so wish. They've also changed the music, the menu music, back to the original music that we had at the very, very start of the game. So at the launch of Call of Duty Ghosts, it had obviously music. Each DLC they changed it slightly, and now they've reverted it back to the original menu music. Personally, I really loved the menu music that came in the second Devastation DLC. I don't know why, I thought it sounded really, really good, but hopefully they'll change it around a little bit more, because menu music in Call of Duty games always get really stale. Like, it's the thing you listen to so much, so I do like the fact that they change it around every time. It's a little thing that makes a huge difference. Listening to that same menu music over and over again really gets stale, so it's a good thing they change it up. But now they're reverted back to the original music we had back in November, and they've also added the leaderboards for Drop Zone and Reinforce, which is pretty cool. And finally, they have added the Oracle feature, which I talked about in my video as well. And so when the enemy Oracle shows up, you will get a little orange and black notifier on the bottom of your screen that shows you they have an Oracle up. So each time the Oracle pings and you're about to be shown up to them, you're going to see a little black and orange notifier on the bottom of your screen where the scavenger kind of notifier would normally show up. You're going to see that notifier, so when you see that, it means you have just gone visible to everyone on their team because they have an Oracle up. That's what that means. So I think it's a really good thing. I think Oracle and all support streaks are generally a little bit too powerful, and I'm very glad that now I can know when they can see me. So that's all cool stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Which of these features is your favorite, and what do you think about these updates? Make sure to give the video a like rating if you did enjoy it and found it informational. And if you want to check out some cheap games, you can check out G2A in the description. They've got some really good sales going on right now for cheap PC games, Xbox Live codes, PSN codes, and games you can pre-order, and so all that good stuff. So I'll leave a link to them in the description. Be sure to check them out for some cheap games. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.